Hey, everybody, and welcome to our weekly show. We call it Tournament Horse Racing. It's brought to you by Broke Guys Handicapping. I'll be your host tonight. My name is Rich Sharp. What we've done is we've taken the horse racing calendar, we've broken it up into a series. We've actually broken it up into 4 separate horse racing tournaments throughout the year. Each one of those tournaments consists of approximately 10 racing days, and that's what you're watching tonight is one of those racing days. We take 4 races from a select card, one of the best cards from around the country usually, and we pick each one of our horse players will go ahead and make a $2 mythical win place wager in each one of those races. We are simply measuring who wins the most money. The player that wins the most money at the end of the night wins the racing day. At the end of the 10 racing tournaments that we have, or the 10 individual tournaments, whoever has won the most money wins that individual tournament. And believe it or not, yes, we're actually keeping track all the way throughout the year. So we'll have one year-end champion. Well, that gives you enough about how it is that we play here on Tournament Horse Racing. It's time to go ahead and introduce you to the horse players. In no particular order, starting just a little bit to my north, up in Menifee, California, is a good friend of mine. He's also our newest horse player to this game, but don't let that confuse you. He's got a couple of victories under his belt already in a couple of years here. Steve Newsom, how you doing?
Not too bad, Rich. How about yourself?
Well, I see that Steve's frozen a little bit, so at least I can hear your voice, but for a second your face froze there. I was like, uh-oh.
I'm frozen?
Yeah, we were having bandwidth issues. No, you're back. Now you're moving again. Now you see back to character.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to swing all the way
So
across the
that's
country.
me having the bandwidth issues, not you.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yep. On the East Coast, Mr. Tirado. Excuse me. I'm going all the way across to the East Coast in Staten Island, New York. The other horse player on our team, Ray Tirado. How have you been, my friend?
Good, guys. Good to see you. I'm doing good.
Always nice to
Happy
see
Labor Day weekend. Yeah.
you. Oh, that's right. Labor Day weekend.
Yes,
Unfortunately, I've
yes.
been battling the
Looking
flu this
forward
week.
to it.
I seem to have lost all track of times and days. So.
Mm,
All
yeah.
right, and without further ado, I'll swing back over here to the other side of the country, and just a little bit to the south of me is my good friend. He lives in Temecula, California. Our final horse player on the night. He is our defending champion from last year. Joe English, how are you doing?
Overheated, but otherwise fine. Let's skip the pleasantries.
Yeah, no kidding, boy. Even here at 9, sitting here at 9 o'clock at night, watching the Dodgers get hammered by the Padres. It's still hot. It's really hot inside my bedroom here. So. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what happened last week here on Tournament Horse Racing. And I will start to share my screen with you guys. That's actually this week's card, which is down at Mar Racetrack. Let me spin over here. I do have a correction from last week. So the previous week, 2 weeks ago, Joe and Ray actually traveled to Saratoga to go see the Alabama Stakes, and I neglected to include $4.20 that Joe put up on the board in the final race. I missed that on last week's show. So just so you guys know, I have corrected that. The totals are all updated. And then last week, on the 27th, we were again at Saratoga. We spent a lot of our summer at Saratoga for the it says the Forgo there. Yeah, and that was actually for the Travers Stakes. And as you see there, Mr. Tirado comes out with the victory. Ray puts up $25.60. He almost marked in all 4 races. He had 2 winners, and closes the gap a little bit. As you see there, me and Joe were just a nose bob away from second and third. Steve bringing up the rear here. And as we head into the final weekend of this tournament that we've had going on, that goes all the way back to the beginning of July, as you see there, I've got a sizable lead. I'm ahead by about $70 over Ray. Steve just $5 back behind Ray, and Joe just a couple of dollars behind Steve. Don't let that fool you. We do have 2 tournaments left, so let me go ahead and get my screen to kind of show out here so you can see it. But we do have today's tournament, or tomorrow's tournament, which will be the TVG Pacific Classic. And then again on Labor Day, we will come back. We'll split it up between Saratoga and Del Mar. So in reality, there's 8 races left. There's plenty of time for the other horse racers to go ahead and catch up. And they're going to start that tonight on Del Mar. Del Mar Racetrack. This is actually our first try where it's just Del Mar by itself. We did have one split earlier this year. But where the surf meets the turf, that is Old Del Mar, and we are going to start in race number 8. They're going 7 furlongs on the main track. The purse is $82,000. It is for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won $15,000 once, other than maiden, claiming, or starter, or state bred, or which have never won 2 races, or claiming price of $40,000. And your morning line favorite for this race is going to be in post number 5. And that horse is named, I have that correct? Yep, Redline. And Redline is 7-2 on the Del Mar Morning Line. He's trained by John Sadler and ridden by John Velasquez. And one of the traditions on tournament horse racing that we developed here is the leader kind of going into that final weekend is the person who has to go out on the lead. And that way we can't be accused of doing any blocking here. I am on the lead, so I know it sounds like I've been talking a lot. I will try and stop that. But my pick in the very first leg of this is a little bit off the board. I don't know if I've ever done this on tournament horse racing. I do bet foreign horses on occasion. They're usually from France or England. I do not bet a whole lot of horses that are from Chile. But this horse's name is All Fine, or Todo Fino, if you like. He is trained by Amador Sanchez and ridden by Hector Barrios. There were some numbers that popped on this page for me. Sanchez is not a very well-known trainer, but he is successful here in Southern California. As you see there, with shippers to the United States, he hits with 29%. And this is not exactly what you would consider a foreign bred. The horse's sire is Verenzano. The mom, although as she comes out of Super Dodada, you can see that was a Scat Daddy grand mare, I guess you would say. And Hector Barrios and Amador Sanchez have developed a bit of a repertoire there. 12 starts for that combination, 42% win percentage. And this horse, all he likes to do is win. He's had 14 lifetime starts. He's got 9 wins. He's won his last 3 in a row. I don't know the quality of those horses. I don't even know the races that they were in. One's called the Turf, one's called the Mayor University, and the other one's called Very Special. I have no idea what those races are down in Chile. But I did think that a horse that likes to win that much, that's got that kind of breeding, and has that kind of nice combination there that I see between Sanchez and Barrios was worth a try for me. So I hit the 8 in the first leg. And Ray, since you are second up on the scoreboard, guess what? You're going right after me tonight.
Oh boy. You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, God.
I get the same horse.
The first time.
And I tell you why. I'm looking at the workouts. I mean, I see 47, I see 47. This horse is winning by 6, 8, 3 at 5 furlongs. I mean, come catch me if you can. I'd be surprised if this horse down the lead up by 5 top of stretch. I like those horses. So, I like speed and, late 6 on. And let's give it a run. Get me 7 furlongs today. Todo Fino.
Todo Fino. All right, Steve, you are up next on the scoreboard. Go ahead.
I think we lost Steve.
Did I lose Steve? I'm sorry. You know what? I sometimes, for those who are watching with that, I do fly a little bit blind. I can see the racing form, or I can see the guys. I can't see both. So I will go ahead and hand off to Joe. Joe, why don't you come in and pinch hit for Steve?
Sure. It's funny that I was looking at that horse too, and I realized it's like I wish there was some way we could see how the horse runs. You have no idea whether the horse comes from a pace, is he on the lead? No idea. And he's never gone past 6 furlongs. Is that 7 furlongs going to hurt, help? Really, no clue as to what we should think. You would think the breeding would be 7 furlongs should be fine. But again, we've never seen him run before. There's really no clue. And honestly, if he was such a wonder horse, why is he 6 to 1 in the morning line? Obviously, my guess is there's some issues with what he's been running against. I went to the horse on the rail, Mr. Impossible, who's 8 to 1. Because I'm at the back of the pack, so I need to make up some ground. The winner of the race he comes out of, which was last year at Del Mar, was Ginobili, who went on to win the Pat O'Brien after this race, and then finished second behind Life is Good in the British Cup Dirt Mile. 2 other horses from that race had won, and looking at his works, he's been working basically every week for the past 3 months. Simon Callahan's not fantastic off long layoffs. I mean, this is over a year. But still, I mean, he's 15%. That's still pretty solid. I think most trainers would take that with a horse coming off long layoffs like that. And it looks like he's been a mile or 7 furlongs. Probably shouldn't be an issue. I know it's tough to win at 7 off the bench. I know it's tough to win from the rail at 7 furlongs. But I've got to take a shot with horses who are going to be a price, and I can't be taking the same horses that you guys take, regardless of the price. So give me the 1, Mr. Impossible, for Simon Callahan and leading rider 1.
Did we get Steve to check back in?
Yeah, Steve is back. Yeah.
There we go. All right.
Okay. I'm connecting through my phone. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
We hear you.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm not sure. I don't see myself on here. So, yeah, is it my turn?
It's your turn.
I'm guessing. Okay. All right. It's a small screen.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Let me get situated here. Go. Okay. Yeah. No. I'm going off the reservation. I'm going with the 6 Super Curioso.
Woo!
Went with the foreign horse, kind of like you there, Rich. Only a different one. Thought I'd
Different
take a
country.
little shot here. Maybe I can catch lightning in a bottle. I think the shorter distance is going to help. The horse has won 1-0 at the distance in 2 races. Had a couple of nice workouts, and it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of early speed in the race. So
This horse was Amador Sanchez's. All right, there we go. We got in the books. All right, and we are going to go ahead and move right along to race number 9. And race number 9 is the first of the 3 graded stakes races on today's cards. They're going 1 1/8 on the turf track. This is the the Caesars Sportsbook Del Mar Derby. It's a grade 2. Purse is $300,000 for 3-year-olds only. And your morning line favorite is out there. He's in post number 9. And this is Balnikov, ridden by Umberto Rispoli, trained by Phil D'Amato. And Balnikov is 5-2 on the morning line here at Del Mar. And I'll tell you, that was a tempting choice for me to go for, but I did not take Balnikov, and I did take the 5 horse here. I went with Dandy Warhol, Mark Latt and Flavian Pratt aboard. You guys know how I like that idea of going to the east, and if you can't find something in the east, just keep going further east. This horse did start off over in Ireland, and then came over and ran in the Oceanside Stakes. And you guys let me know what you think and things like that. That's about as much trouble as you can have during a race. Broke slow, lacked room, got clipped at the 3/8 miles. I mean, short of somebody coming out and tackling the horse during the race, this was a pretty bad trip. Now, considering that the horse always likes to run from the back, I imagine step slow is basically in his running line all the time. As you see in the next race, he got bumped, but got up in time. So I'm taking Dandy Warhol. There's a lot of them that were in the Oceanside Stakes. There's a couple that were in another stakes race, a smaller stakes race. I initially think I had the other horse, but I decided to go ahead and skip it and came back to Flavian Pratt, kind of hit my soft spot here. And I went with Dandy Warhol, the 5. Again, Ray, you are number 2.
I went on the rail, number 1, Cable Spirit. Second race off a layoff, raced in La Jolla. He won grade 3. He likes Del Mar, 2 out of 3 with a 3rd. So, Papa Julo, I like his name, the trainer's name. He's got a good trip. He should be placed forward on this race, 1 1/8. So, it's 2 turns. The turn is really short, and he should get a good position early, and make a run, and hopefully, he's 9 out of 13 in the money, so he should be in the race. So, he should be coming off that win last time. He should improve, and he'll be 4-1. So, with my friend Joe Bravo. Joe? No, Steve.
I believe it's I think Steve's next.
Yeah, Steve's
Okay.
next. Yeah.
All right. I went with the favorite on this one, Balnikov. Umberto Rispoli and Phil D'Amato, they're winning at a 28% clip. And Umberto Rispoli's a good rider, 18%. Oh, no. Wait, I don't remember. Is it a turf race?
Yeah, it's a turf race.
Yeah, a turf race. Yeah. But yeah. And the horse is 2-3-1 in 9 races on the turf. So one on the turf before. But yeah, I'm going with the favorite on this one.
Joe, take us home.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add. I'm on the 1 like Ray. Nice draw inside. Trainer jockey combination is doing well to me, including American. I can't remember what the horse's name, the one that the sprint got into the Breeders' Cup, 3rd spring. And again, 2 of 3 at the track. So, like I said, I'll take the 1 Combo Spirit, 4-1.
All right, here we go. I am on to race number 10. This is the feature. Going 1.25 miles on the main track, it is the TVG Pacific Classic Grade 1. Purse is $1 million for 3-year-olds and upward. And your morning line favorite is, guess who? The undefeated man, Flightline. He is trained by John Sadler. He's ridden by Flavian Pratt, and he is a generous 1-5 on the Del Mar morning line. We should call this one "Who's Handicapping for Second Place?" because that's what I did in this one. There's nobody who's going to beat this horse. There's nobody who's going to beat this horse in California. I don't think there's anybody who's going to beat this horse across the country. We actually saw him last year when he was doing some of these amazing things, and there was some criticism of him. The only thing that's the knock on him is obviously you don't get to see him all that often. He races about once every 5 or 6 months. That being said, I did not take him, although sometimes taking the $4.30 for the win place in this particular tournament might be the way to go. And I actually went off the reservation. I decided I will go ahead and try and find someone for second place in this race that might pay at least $4.30. And considering that for some reason they have Express Train listed at 12-1 on the morning line, I think that's a reflection of just how much respect they're giving to Flightline at this point in time. Is that a horse that's got 3 for 5 at Del Mar? If you look there, as far as the bull type is concerned, Express Train only runs in these kind of races. He won the Santa Anita Handicap back earlier this year. He finished second in the California when he was the favorite. There's a lot to like about Express Train. The thing not to like about him is who's running in the post that's just right outside of him. I would imagine when they see him coming in there, they know who they're dealing with. But I did go with Express Train, and I did not take the favorite in this one. So, right?
I went with number 2, Country Grammar. Been a favorite of this horse for the last couple of years. He's been running well. He's made a lot of money. We're racing overseas, and he could get the distance. That's not an issue. Flightline, if he fails, what? I gotta say, I'm the type of person. He's got to show me he can get a mile and a quarter. He looks great. His figures are great. But those 2 turns, those mile and a quarter, that's what makes a horse. Until you do it, and I'm not going to take 1-5 to see it. So I'll take a chance. He may not want the distance. They can always go back to the mile. But I know they have to do this, and they have to try and get the most that they want from him to try and get him to a Briscoe Classic, just like Life is Good. So, that's probably the race down the road we're going to see.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'll take Country Grammar. He's proven at the distance. He's competitive. He'll be, if he's that much shorter the distance, Country Grammar could be there with him. So I'll take Johnny V with Country Grammar. But, good luck, Flightline. He's a great horse. I hope he do it. It's good for his legacy. So, we were there a few weeks ago. Last week we were there, at the Hall of Fame. So we might see you there one day.
All right, Steve.
Yeah, and I'm on the same horse as Rich, Express Train. Don't have much more to add to that. I'll try to take 12-1, and who knows, maybe a chance to beat Flightline, but probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Joe?
Yeah, me too. I'm on Express Train. His speed figures have climbed ever since opening day at Santa Anita when Victor Espinoza got aboard. He's been up, 97, 100, 105, or 104, 106. So if he can take another step forward, and we know he's won at 10 furlongs, and he's 3 for 5 at Del Mar. I mean, if there's a reason, if something happens to the Flightline and he stubs his toe, I think this horse actually has a better shot, even than Country Grammar, to beat him. And again, I shouldn't say he's got a better shot. He's got as good a shot as Country Grammar, and I'm getting 3 times the price. 12-1. But it's funny. I did a little looking on Flightline, and I saw some interesting stuff, and I was like, well, if Baffert gives Country Grammar the juice, then what happens? At 10 furlongs, he's never been around 2 turns, much less 10 furlongs.
Yeah.
I said he hasn't broken well a couple of times, so he's had issues. And the other thing about it is I was looking back at the temperatures on the days he's run, and he's never. Del Mar is supposed to be in the low to mid 80s tomorrow. And he's never experienced that kind of heat either. I mean, I think the hottest temperature he was in a race with was like 78. and it wasn't like it was a super sunny day. It was clear, but nothing ridiculous. So there are some things that could play into beating him. I mean, if he does what everybody expects him to do, so what? Go, take your 210 and go back to go back to the seat. That's fine.
Mhm.
Give me the 4.
All right.
They might need wings to catch him.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe. But let's see 10
Let's
furlongs.
see. Yeah. Show
Right.
me, like you say.
Brings us to the final race in today's tournament, and that is race number 11 at Del Mar
Great
Racetrack.
job done it.
And they are going 1 mile and 3/8 on the turf. This is the Del Mar Handicap presented by the Japan Racing Association. It's a grade 2, and the purse is $300,000 for 3-year-olds and upward. And your morning line favorite is, again, all the way out in post number 9. I believe it's Masterpiece. And yep, that's him. Trained by Mike McCarthy, ridden by Abel Cedillo, and he is 3-1 on the Del Mar morning line. I actually had a lot of trouble with this race. This was one of the races that I went back and forth on. Scratched out a couple of different horses, so pretty sure I might have the winner in there, but not necessarily the one I ended up on. I'm with one of the familiars out here on the West Coast. He actually ran in the Pacific Classic last year and ended up second in the Pacific Classic last year. It's Tis a Magician. He's only been on the turf just once before, but this is Richard Mandela and Mike Smith. They know what they know. Richard Mandela knows what he's doing, and as far as having horses on turf or on dirt, I'm sure his barn has looked at this. The horse has all the good speed figures, as you see there. They kind of align nicely, and then getting Mike Smith aboard for this particular race, and has experience at this distance. So the horse has got 1.5 miles, 1 mile and 5/8. Has got quite a number of tries at longer distances. So that kind of alleviates any of the concerns that I had about being on turf. Should be on the lead, and this race is going to be just about 1.5 miles. So this is one of those marathons there at Del Mar. But I ended up sticking with the 6. Tis a Magician. Right?
I went with the number 4, Red King. That's an old fogey.
Yeah. He's a good
41
guy, too.
races, 12 races at Del Mar, so he knows the track. He's been racing, on the turf, the long distances too. The San Juan Capistrano, that's a long one, mile and 3/4. So he finished second. Just his jockey changed to Barrios. So Phil DeMar knows what he's doing. So I'll take the 8-1, and he won last year, Del Mar, but he's been improving this year. So let's see, this old 8-year-old Red King for me. Steve.
Oh yeah. I went with. I had trouble with this race too. I went with the 10, Master of Foxhounds. It's because I like the name. No, not really.
I like the name.
Pure turf horse here, with the Phil D'Amato, Juan Hernandez, they're 118%. But yeah, horses it is 3-3 on turf in 17 races, so he's got a lot of races under his belt on turf. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Master of Foxhounds.
All right, Joe. Last thing of the
All
evening.
right, well, it's funny. This is the race I had my prediction on, and it was wrong. So I'm going to take my shot, and I'll
right.
read my prediction in a minute. I'm on the same horse as Reyes again. Red King won this race in 21. Won this race in 20. He was 5th in 21, and he had a spot of traffic in the race. The break point was a horse that was on the lead in the San Juan Capistrano, and the horse just kept on going. I like Hector Barrios. He's shown me a lot at Del Mar. I know Rich probably knows him somewhat from Gulfstream Park. This is one of 4 Phil D'Amatos. Phil D'Amato has become the Chad Brown of the West Coast on the turf, and he had a solid drill on the 4th, and I'm assuming that the drills since then were just maintenance drills. So I went with the 4 Red King, and like I said, I will read my prediction, and if you can, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I'll show it to you. But I was way off base.
Hold on one
Nice
second.
job.
Let me just fill these in for us real quick. Go ahead, Joe, because I can't see it.
Sure. Okay. Well, I don't know if I'll hold it up and then I'll take my shot.
Do those all look
You're
correct
done.
before I see for everybody? Everybody see your
One,
picture?
two, yeah, good.
Yes.
I'm good.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Okay. See, if you can see this, both Steve and Rich will take number 2 Gold Phoenix in race 11. I
Oh.
figured, how could you guys pass up Phil D'Amato and Flavian Pratt on the grass in a stake race? I mean, really? You neither one of you took the horse? Come on, guys. I didn't even
Yeah.
the 3 broke guys angle going from an allowance race into a stake race. I was like, I mean, I was sure at least one of you would. So since I'm wrong, happy Fireball, happy Labor Day.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, if it'll make you feel any better and things like that, like I said on my notes, I don't know if you guys can see mine because mine are so small. And there are about 3 crossouts in that particular one, and I think Gold Phoenix is indeed one of those.
oh no, this is an all button race.
Yeah, so I crossed out the 2, I crossed out the 3, I ended up on the 6, and if I'm not mistaken,
My
I
pick
actually
will
I
have
crossed out the 6.
everybody.
I'll tell you, to me the 8th race is the all button race.
And the 8th race was pretty tough as well.
Yeah.
I think the 8th race is really wide open and can go lots of different ways.
You see me
Yeah,
betting
true,
horses.
yeah.
Yeah. You see me betting horses from Chile. Okay, then it's a tough race. It's
Hey, like I said, I just want to know we just don't know how the horse even runs.
Yeah, I just took a 20-1 shot.
Oh no, 5 furlongs. You're going by 8. You got to be in the lead.
Well, you would hope, Ray, but I mean,
I know. I know.
well, all right. Before I get
he
too
could be
far off
sitting
track,
just off the lead. We don't know.
All right.
and before I get too
And-
far off track, and before I get us clipped here at the very end of our show, let me go ahead and wrap this one up very quickly. So, Joe,
Cheers.
cheers to you. If I drank right now,
All
I'd
right.
definitely be throwing up all night. Anybody got anything they want to add before I wrap this up?
Oh, I had a question for you guys about Flightline, but it's not something we can answer within the time limit. So.
No, we can't. All right. Well, everybody, that's how we do it. That's you've seen our individual racing day. We are closing in on the end of this tournament. As a matter of fact, we'll wrap it up this weekend. We'll come back on Sunday and we'll go ahead and have one more broadcast. And that'll give us our champion on Monday. So we'll have that done. Again, for Steve Newsom, for Joe English and Ray Torado, my name is Rich Sharp. Our show is called Tournament Horse Racing. It's brought to you by Broke Guys Handicapping. Good luck and good night, everybody.
Have a good long weekend, and
Good night,
don't forget
folks.
Kentucky Downs.